last year,
So they can't read.
what makes them be different this year? And if they can't read, how are they going to actually learn the content?
That's a good question.
I'm just curious. You know, not at the same time, I'm not gonna have any problems with any of this, because the young people that are working with the products that we're utilizing and doing what we're asking them to do, they're gonna know how to read. So they don't need a teacher to teach them anything, they'll teach themselves.
I saw the writing prompt for 12th grade. They give you a writing prompt that you can do to, I guess, test out at a certain level for your 12th grade year. And it used to be like if you had 3 wishes, what would those 3 wishes be? But now for their 12th grade writing prompt, they have 2 passages they have to read. And within 45 minutes, they have to read 2 passages, find the contrast as well as the comparisons between the 2 passages and how they relate.
In 45 minutes.
And they still have to write it in 5-paragraph format. Introduction, 3 paragraphs of content, and a conclusion. And they'll do that in 45 minutes.
Well, I'm suggesting that they're building bigger prisons, not better colleges. And they got a reason, you know, so we better get ours ready. But you're not gonna have that problem, are you, Mrs. Righteous? Because you're gonna know how to read, right?
You're going to be able to do that in less than 30 minutes.
Huh?
I do.
Good, good, and you're gonna read better. And we're gonna time ourselves. So now how fast is Righteous supposed to learn how to read?
I don't know.
Well, how fast do you think the people who work, not the people who carry boxes, but the administrative part of FedEx, how fast do you think they read?
They said 5th grade reading level. So that would
The
be
ones carrying boxes?
Yeah, administrative level.
administrative level.
Yeah, the ones making 400,000 a year.
I just, okay.
Huh?
You gotta be able to read at least a page a minute.
They're reading 4,000 or 5,000 words a minute.
That's like, what, how many pages?
In some cases, that's a book.
A minute?
And they're reading 4,000 or 5,000 words a minute. Now, at the same time, I'm not asking for my students to read 5,000 words a minute, but I figure they can do half of that. At least 2,500. Now, right now, on average, I think the average reading is around 120 words a minute, and that's not good enough. Now, who showed that it was not good enough? What was her name?
Evelyn Woods.
Her name was Evelyn Woods. She showed that this was just not good enough. And she came up with a process to teach people how to write faster. Now, why is it that our schools are not introducing that process to our children? Guess what they've introduced on our side of town? What we feel is our side of town. They've introduced that the children don't need to learn to write.
I was gonna say, so this test that they have to write the composition, is it in handwriting or you writing it on the computer?
You have to type it. Now the 12th graders have to type it.
Isn't that
So it's no longer you have to write it, you have to type it.
So that means that
So
it
they're
would be
saying
wise
they have handwriting.
that he learns how to type
Yeah,
100 words a
it'd be
minute
pretty
now.
wise.
Yeah, it'd be wise.
That's like the SAT.
That's what?
They're putting the SAT on the computer now, so now you have to type the essay instead of writing.
On that part. But that's only 400 points.
Yeah.
That's only 400 points. See, the new test goes to 2,400 now. And that part of the test that you're talking about is 400, and they have an oral for 400. And now they're having with SAT, you have to take orals.
And they're adding more word problems.
They are definitely adding word problems.
A whole lot more word problems.
You know, so now here's what's really gonna be weird. So-called black people on the ACT are already making 12 and 13. Now, they're adding logic problems to the test. So that means that there's no doubt they're gonna score even lower than the average now. So if we do what it is that I'm asking everyone to do, you shouldn't have to worry about this. Because when everybody else is going down, your abilities, your capacity should be going up. We shouldn't have to worry about this. If you don't have anything to compete with, then you're supposed to ace everything. And the only way they want you to compete is, what they call a curve? No, they use a curve. So if the highest score in your group
Is
is
an
80, yeah,
Then that makes it
then that's an
100.
A. That's 100. And then they're using that as the curve. So if you score 75, you're making a B. No, if he scored an 80 and he gets an A, then the B becomes a 75 or something. But what I'm suggesting is you don't need that. Now they're gonna get real mad at you because you're gonna make 100, so that means the curve is gonna go away. You know, I don't wanna have to depend on the curve. And, you know, when people get angry at you in your classroom, you didn't have to make no 100. That made it harder for me. Well, you know, I'm sorry about that.
I got one question.
Yes,
How can they test you on something they're not teaching?
that's what they've been doing for years now.
I mean, how can they do that?
Hey,
It's criminal.
you're right, but now you know who we need to take it up with? With the state legislators, because, see, the state is the one that determines what the system will do in each state. They control it, but see, in the past, most folks they have not known that the state controls your child's education. They are state schools. It's just that simple.
Yeah.
They're state schools, and what we've got to do, we've got to now help them to learn in such a way where I don't care what they do. They don't have to teach. Matter of fact, they can put on a test something about Yamakis and Japanese. What's the Japanese religion?
Buddha.
No, that's Chinese.
Japanese.
But Japanese,
Shinto.
Shinto is Japanese. Buddha is actually Chinese and India. But they do practice
There's a
Buddhism
lot of Buddhists in Japan.
in Japan. And they even practice Zen Buddhism, which is going to be a higher degree of Buddhism than what you find in China and India. You know, and we need to learn all these things. So if they put that on the test, our children are supposed to be able to pass this. You know, if they put on that, how they trick you all the time. They would have on the test something about an Eve. You know, what are they talking about when we're talking about an Eve
EABE,
on the test?
EABE.
What were they talking about?
I don't know.
You
The
know,
thing
cool.
on the thing on the
An
house.
overhang.
Yeah,
Yes.
there you go.
But the kids that go to school in Memphis, they live in the projects. They know Eve's in the projects. They don't know nothing about an Eve. So on the test, you've got questions about Eves, or you may have a test about a sailboat. They don't know anything about a sailboat.
I got you.
But what I'm suggesting is, I don't care. They can have on the test something in Greek, Japanese, or whatever. I expect Daniel to pass that. I expect Righteous to pass the ace it. I don't care. They're not teaching. They're not teaching it. But so what?
My little brother just got a scholarship because he can speak bilingual.
You speak Spanish.
Yeah, my little brother, he speaks fluent Spanish, and he can write it.
Good. You're learning Spanish, right?
And he just got a scholarship. He's trying to go
So-
to Bambi.
Tell everybody hello in Spanish. Give us some idea about what time it is, or
Oh,
something. Say a sentence or something.
I would say como te llamas, but that's obvious.
Como te llamo?
That's the only
What's your
thing I know.
name?
What's your name?
Oh, how are you?
Oh, I thought it was what's
No,
your name.
no,
That's, no, that's what's your name.
No, how are you? If you talking to everyone.
What is your name?
Yeah.
Como-
That's the only thing I know.
What?
¿Cómo te llamas?
Means what is your name?
What is your
Yes. But so how do you say how you doing to everybody in the room?
What did you say?
I'm asking him, how do you say how you doing to everybody in the room?
I don't know.
¿Cómo está ustedes? There's going to be a difference between cómo está and cómo está usted and cómo está ustedes.
I learned.
The
Como
group.
say, como va you.
So now what is she speaking?
French?
All right, good.
Excuse me.
Yes.
I know how to say hello in Japanese.
How do you say hello in Japanese?
Konnichiwa.
All right, how do you say 1, 2, 3?
Ichi ni san.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, that's okay. We're gonna practice. We're gonna practice. And if we just learn one word at a time, and we learn the grammatical structures, we're gonna be all right. But if we wait on them to teach us, then we're not gonna learn anything. Because you're right. The way they were setting this up, they had these kids where they can never pass these tests. You know, but we'll teach ourselves. So hopefully, we're gonna make sure our youngsters can ace everything. And she's supposed to get full scholarship. And have you started practicing your golf or tennis or something? Well, what are you tricking these folks with? You gotta do something, sing, dance, something.
I stopped playing golf.
You golfing?
Huh?
You playing golf now?
No, I used to in middle school.
You stopped. Wait a minute, you're singing now? Nadia,
My senior?
are you singing?
Yes.
All right, well, let us hear you. Wait a minute, how are you gonna sing and you won't sing? That's not gonna get it. You can't do that. Have you been practicing at all?
Singing no, because I just joined last week and we only had one practice.
What did you do at the practice?
I didn't do anything, I watched.
Well, what did you watch?
She was just going over the music,
Going over the music? How?
telling them their notes. They weren't singing. just
Are they
singing.
telling the notes? Which note did she tell them?
For the song they were singing, I don't know.
What key was
Well, if you had to teach Daniel or Righteous the notes,
I don't know.
what notes would you teach him? How would you teach him the notes?
Well, she basically was just saying go high or go low because I don't.
So she didn't give you Every Good Boy Does Fine? And what's the other one? FACE?
Yeah. FA.
What is it?
F-
All cows eat gas.
All cows eat grass.
All cows eat grass. So now, what are we talking about? What are we talking about?
The staff.
You learning to sing, right? Well, you better be learning this that we're talking about. You know, FACE, Every Good Boy Does Fine, all cows eat grass. And what else? What else? I know you better know. What else? What else?
What else?
Okay, no problem, no problem. I'll tell you what you do then. Since you don't know nothing, next week, you come in and bring us a Paul Laurence Dunbar poem. All right, bring us a Paul Laurence Dunbar poem. Can you bring us a Paul Laurence Dunbar poem? Give me another person, another poem. Give me another one that she can learn. Is that Paul? Langston Hughes is a good one. What about Langston Hughes? I need you to come to class, and I need you to say a poem. So you tell us which one you're gonna do. Paul Laurence Dunbar or Langston Hughes?
Better say Langston Hughes.
Why? Why you say that?
This Paul Laurence Dunbar wrote in Negro dialect, and it's very difficult.
Oh, well.
Good. Yes. You know that they did have a Negro dialect when y'all was moving from color to Negro, right?
Negro dialect.
You don't remember when y'all was moving from color to Negro?
They-
Tell them something, Mr. Bell.
Was Negro
You remember that when they was moving from color to Negro, don't you?
Isn't that a?
I don't know, all of a sudden, there it was.
All of a sudden.
I was saying that.
You all know you weren't always
How y'all feel about the
African
movie Butler?
Americans.
Huh?
Have you seen
Colored.
Butler?
No, anyone yet?
How do
Anyone
y'all feel
heard
about
him
the
when
movie
he
The
asked?
Butler?
What you say?
How do y'all feel about the movie The Butler?
Oh yeah, I saw that.
What was that again?
The movie, the lead.
He's just mumbling this today, Mr. Bell. He's mumbling him. He's not hearing you. You're mumbling.
The movie that Oprah produced, directed by Lee Daniels, The Butler. I was asking who saw that movie because that was talking about, the civil rights movement
Yeah.
and that, and segregation, as well as I guess post-slavery with sharecroppers and how blacks were treated. And so
I didn't see it.
Yeah, I saw
Heard
it.
about it though.
you saw it.
Yeah, I saw it.
How did you hear about it?
It's on TV all the time.
I was Brandon, if you saw it, I really would like to hear what your opinion of it was.
My opinion of it, I don't know. I thought it was a good movie. I just see an agenda behind Hollywood to reinforce their version of history.
But no, wait a minute. Hollywood didn't produce that.
Hollywood didn't produce. What you mean?
Hollywood?
Not independent?
No. But he depended on Oprah, didn't he?
I'm not just talking
I
about.
thought
Lee
Oprah
was
huh?
the director. Lee Daniels. He was director.
But so Hollywood controls him.
Hollywood released it, right? It's made in Hollywood.
No, I think there's some other things going on with this movie thing, this media. I don't think we have a good
You
understanding.
think it's an
I had a
independent film?
question.
I don't know if it's an independent. What?
If it were independent, then they would have more control over it.
Exactly.
If it's mainstream, then it will be like every other movie, pretty much.
So was Red Tails mainstream?
I wouldn't necessarily know.
The
'cause
people who produce Red Tails, they got all the money they need. They don't need a dime from Hollywood.
Talking about Skywalker Sound and Luke.
His studio
Lucasfilm.
is located in Sausalito, California. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm saying that a lot of us are talking about this as if we understand what's going on in Hollywood. I'm suggesting you don't understand. You don't have a clue. All you have is the nonsense that everybody's talking about. Why don't we go learn about how this is done?
I just saw recently where Spike Lee went online. He's has a fundraiser for his next movie, and he's already over $500,000.
Good.
Yeah, Kickstarter.
And what have you found out? I like what you're saying. So maybe we need to find out what is the dividend that he's offering in return for the investment.
It depends on how much money you give. Like
I think that it's some sort of free site that you can pitch your idea.
Kickstarter.
Is this what's called Kickstarter?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's crowdfunding.
Crowdfunding, that's what this is called now?
Yes.
So do you partake in the, I guess, after the movie makes its reward, do you get compensation or do you
See, no. Here's where we're going.
Dividends, that's what he
get
said.
that?
And how does a person get paid
For investment.
when the movie actually is shown? In other words, who is paying who? Who is the distributor?
Yeah.
With the movie theaters have to spend some money to
buy.
show the movie, right? Right, by rights to show the movie over a period of time. They have to lease the film in order to show it. Matter of fact, when this kid, Spike, the same one you're talking about, he put out Malcolm. How did he get beat out of his money?
in movie
You gotta be
theaters,
out of his money.
they would, if you went to the movie and you bought a ticket,
They would
they
give you a
let,
ticket.
they would give you a ticket
That's
to
right.
another movie.
That's right.
You could go to see Malcolm, but your ticket was to another movie.
They did that to us?
Yes, they beat him out a lot of money. Now at the same
It's not the
time,
first time they've done it.
huh?
It's not the first time.
No, they do this whenever they want to. But what we've got to do is we are going to have to figure out how to get the information to Daniel and Righteous and Ivy and Nadia, all of our young people, to your daughter. How do we get involved in the business where we know what's going on?
Well, you, okay, oh, I'm sorry, I'm not addressing that. I was gonna say another form of the movie distribution, the internet movies now, which, Christina Tamarcus is gonna be in the movie, her internet is a series, and it's debuting tomorrow. It's called Great Controversies, and the way you see that is, it goes through PayPal. You download the series from PayPal,
Those people are getting paid directly now.
getting paid directly.
They make internet movies,
Yeah, my niece is in one,
like a webisode.
like a webisode.
That's right.
But you got the problem.
Production behind this,
Budget.
where you
I'm
go.
not worried
Huh?
about
Said
if
the production behind
if it's an
Christina's
independent
movies
film.
a lot better
The
than
Coon
webisode.
argument is,
Oh.
it ain't true. All of it ain't true. Da-da-da-da-da.
Is it-
That's the big argument
Oh.
right now, and I'm like, again, y'all.
They had it in the movie that Martin Luther King's, the teenagers and the young adults that were with him during the marches and the nonviolent protests, they had it themed that those were the same students and the same people who started the Black Panther movement.
No, Snick didn't start the Black Panther movement. But I understand a lot of arguments that are going on. That's what I've been trying to get some of the young people in our classes to realize, is these arguments are nonsensical.
Well, are they suggesting, is this connection between Lowndes County and?
Well, now Snick, the meetings that they were having did take place. But because these people will not go in and really research the history, they're getting bad information.
But didn't the Black Panthers like start Head Start actually, weren't they?
Yes,
Actually
yes.
organized to.
No, Head Start was one of the programs.
Head Start,
That-
no.
It was a program that
Inspired.
provided the basis for Head Start.
Yeah,
Yes.
Okay,
they were doing.
The
They were
breakfast
doing it.
program.
much better.
The breakfast program that the Black Panthers utilized became what Johnson had ordered,
Lyndon Johnson.
what he ordered some of the people who worked for him to start with the war on poverty, to start a Head Start program. But now, he didn't say start a Head Start. He just told them they needed a program to address training children how to get out of poverty. And so they came up with this thought where what the Black Panthers were doing was brilliant. And so they brought this in and they changed it all the way around from what these kids were doing, and they made it to be about what Johnson, Head Start, right. But that was the Black Panthers.
But,
Yes.
could I do this for the class, since I know that this point probably will never come back around again, when you
What?
said Paul Lawrence Dunbar or Langston Hughes,
Yeah,
and I said Negro dialect.
yeah.
I'm just gonna read to you the first two paragraphs of Paul Lawrence Dunbar's When Melinda Sings. Go away and quit that noise, Miss Lucy. Put that music book away. What's the use to keep on trying if you practice 12th grade? You can't stat no notes of flying like the ones that rants and rings from the kitchen to the big woods when Melinda sings. You ain't got the natural organs for to make them sound come right. You ain't got the tunes and twistings for to make it sweet and light. Tell you one thing now, Miss Lucy, and I'm telling you for truth. When it come to real right singing, tain't no easy thing to do.
Now, you call it jive,
Daniel.
you calling the Gucci, the Memphis rap. So what we have to do is we're gonna have to figure out where these different languages evolved from, and how they got into the written articles, what they call Black English, you know, and really, hopefully, get back to me, son.
That's going to him. Thank you.
Anyway, do you understand what she's talking about Black English or Negro dialect? All right, good, good. But you're going to come back with a poem by who? You're going to find a poem by who? Langston Hughes. If you would, find the one about the hounds, that he wrote about the hounds. What was he writing about? I think he was writing about the brothers that went and saved Andrew Jackson down in New Orleans. You know about them, right?
No.
You know about that?
Oh.
Andrew Jackson was a general that was fighting the English in the War of 1812. Well, where was he fighting? He was fighting down there in New Orleans. And so these hounds, they saved him. Who were the hounds?
You just said some brothers.
That's right. There was some black folks that was fighting like they was hounds. And they saved Andrew Jackson. Now wait a minute, y'all telling me y'all don't know the story.
No.
Never heard of it.
Never heard of it.
Well, then how did Andrew Jackson become famous?
Indian hunter?
Indian hunter? No.
I thought it was Florida.
No, what he had to do with the Indians was the trade of tears.
Yeah.
That's not Indian
Well,
hunter.
Indian relocation.
Indian relocation.
So-called.
That's a long way
So-called
from
Indian.
Indian.
Native American relocation.
Native American relocation.
So-called.
That's what it's AKA the trilogy.
Didn't he shoot somebody on the White House lawn?
When Melinda
He shot somebody on the White House.
That's the story, that he actually murdered someone. But one thing we really want to know about, he took his butler or servant to the White House with him. Who was his butler or servant?
His father.
No.
I thought I heard you say that before. His father.
Yeah. I ain't never said his father.
Oh, okay.
No, it was his brother. But at the time, the average person did not know that that was his brother. That was his butler. That was his servant.
Did they look alike?
I don't know if they looked alike, but see, they're the same father.
Of course it's different.
I guess they're a different mother. The butler's mother was a slave,
Yeah.
so he was an enslaved person. The butler.
Yeah.
Well, he never released him from his servitude. Andrew Jackson actually was the president of the United States with a slave in the White House. And what people really don't understand is that the slave was his brother. He promised him that if he goes to the White House with him, that when he gets through his term, that he was going to emancipate him. He was going to give him his papers. But he never did it.
Wait a minute, you said it was his brother?
Yeah.
He enslaved his brother?
No.
Was his brother a man of color?
Yes. According to the rule of this country, one drop what? You see, Andrew Jackson's father had actually made a slave with a slave woman on his plantation. You follow me?
Yeah.
And that slave became Andrew Jackson's brother. They grew up together. Yeah.
His butler brother.
Huh? His what?
Yeah,
His butler brother. His butler brother.
Yeah, I like that. But understand something.
That sucks.
And why? That was just how the culture was at the time. But why don't we know about these things? Why do we keep believing a whole bunch of nonsense and something? Because everybody, what are you righteous?
Wait a minute, didn't we say that it was never written law about the one drop?
That's right. Never.
So you saying it was actually just pop culture?
No, what it was the way they were trying to set this thing up so they could say mulattoes, octoroon, quadroon, whatever. And they had a system in this country. As a matter of fact, not too long ago, I think, how many years ago was it? About 30 years ago? Down in New Orleans, when the lady, they went to court and they were trying to take her stuff. Don't you remember that? When she had to try to fight this thing about her being a Negro, they were trying to take her property. Don't y'all remember that?
No.
You don't remember that? The case? That's been not too long ago.
Why was it so controversial?
Because she was a lady that was passing, and they found out that she was black. But why is she black?
Because
Because of what?
because her parents are black?
Because one of her parents were black? That makes her black.
Yes.
Why? How? Who did that? How did that happen? But yet y'all want to hold Tiger Woods to being black.
We just won a major.
I like that. But isn't that weird? Everybody wanted to use some rule